Recent military engagements have seen a significant escalation, with reports indicating a large-scale drone attacks by Russian force, striking a Danube River port, and continued advances in three key oblasts within Ukraine. Concurrently, Ukrainian forces have achieved notable successes, including the destruction of three Russian Mi-8 helicopters. These events underscore the intense and multifaceted nature of the ongoing conflict, characterized by both long-range strikes and localized ground offensive, alongside targeted air defense operation. The deliberate targeting of the Danube River port highlights Russia's ongoing strategy to cripple Ukraine's ability to export grain and other goods, thereby impacting its economy and logistics, and potentially creating further global food supply challenges. Such strikes demonstrate an effort to exert pressure beyond the immediate front line, aiming to undermine Ukraine's vital economic lifelines and its capacity to sustain the war effort. The reported Russian drone attack, involving approximately 150 unmanned aerial vehicles, represents one of the largest such assaults since the conflict began. These drones, likely a mix of Shahed-type suicide drones and other reconnaissance and attack platforms, were directed at a critical piece of infrastructure. The Danube River ports have become increasingly important for Ukraine's export, particularly agricultural products, after the disruption of Black Sea shipping routes. A strike on such a facility aims to degrade Ukraine's alternative export capabilities, creating economic hardship and complicating international efforts to ensure global food security. The scale of the attack suggests a concerted effort by Russia to overwhelm Ukrainian air defense and inflict significant damage on strategic targets, showcasing an evolving tactics in the air war. The use of large number of relatively inexpensive drones allow Russia to probe and potentially deplete Ukrainian air defense missile stocks, paving the way for more expensive cruise missile attacks or manned aircraft operations. In tandem with these aerial assaults, Russian forces have reportedly made advances in three separate oblasts. While specific details on the extent and location of these advances are often contested and subject to rapid change, the reports indicate continued pressure along various sectors of the front line. These ground offensives are typically supported by heavy artillery, missile strikes, and air support, aiming to break through Ukrainian defensive lines and consolidate territorial gain. The objective of these advances often include seizing strategic towns, controlling key transportation routes, or expanding buffer zones around occupied territory. Such ground operations require significant manpower and logistical support, and their success or failure is a critical indicator of the broader momentum of the conflict. The ability of Russian forces to make sustained progress, even incrementally, underscores the persistent threat to Ukrainian sovereignty and the ongoing challenge faced by Kyiv in defending its territory. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces have reported a significant counterpunch in the air, successfully targeting and destroying three Russian Mi-8 helicopters. The Mi-8, a versatile Soviet-era helicopters, is widely used by Russian forces for a variety of roles, including troop transport, cargo delivery, medical evacuation, and light attack missions. The loss of three such aircraft represents a substantial blow to Russian air assets, impacting their operational capabilities, particularly in areas requiring rapid deployment or logistical support. The successful targeting of these helicopters could be attributed to a combination of factors, including effective intelligence gathering, the deployment of advanced Western supply air defense systems, or successful ambush tactics by Ukrainian ground force. Each successful downing of a Russian aircraft provides a morale boost for Ukrainian defenders and demonstrates their continued ability to challenge Russian air superiority, even in contested airspace. The destruction of Russian helicopters is not merely a tactical victory. It has broader strategic implications. Helicopters play a crucial role in supporting ground operations, especially in rapid troop movement and resupply in difficult terrain. Their loss can degrade Russia's ability to reinforce frontline units, evacuate casualties, or conduct close air support missions effectively. This can directly impact the pace and success of Russian ground advance, potentially slowing down offensive or making them more costly in terms of personnel and equipment. Furthermore, the persistent threat posed by Ukrainian air defenses to Russian rotary-wing aircraft can force Russian pilots to operate at higher altitude or in less direct routes, increasing fuel consumptions and reducing mission effectiveness, thereby adding another layer of operational complexity for Moscow's Air Force. The combined events of widespread drone attacks, ground advance, and successful Ukrainian air defense operation paint a picture of a grinding war of attrition. Russia continues to employ a strategy of overwhelming firepower and mass attacks to achieve its objective, while Ukraine relies on a combination of resilient defense, targeted strikes, and effective utilization of Western supply military hardware and intelligence. The targeting of civilian infrastructure, such as the Danube port, underscore the brutal nature of the conflict and its far-reaching consequence for regional and global stability, particularly concerning economic flows and humanitarian concerns. Although the latter is outside the scope of this discussion, the conflict remains dynamic, with both sides adapting their strategies and tactics in response to the other's action and the evolving realities on the battlefield. The ongoing struggle for air superiority remains a critical component of the overall conflict. While Russia possesses a numerically superior air force, Ukrainian air defense have proven remarkably resilient, often preventing Russia from achieving full dominance of the skies. The successful interception of drones and the downing of the helicopters are testament to this ongoing struggle. Each side seeks to degrade the other's air capabilities, as control of the airspace provides a significant advantage in terms of reconnaissance, close air support, and interdiction missions. The continuous flow of Western air defense systems and munitions to Ukraine is crucial in enabling Kyiv to contest Russia's aerial superiority and protect its vital infrastructure and military assets. This aerial chess match dictates much of the tempo and the potential outcome of ground engagement, making every drone attack and every downed aircraft a significant event. Logistical challenges continue to play a critical role for both sides. The targeting of ports, railway, and other transportation infrastructure reflect an attempt to disrupt the enemy's supply lines and hinder their ability to move troops, equipment, and munitions to the front. Russia's strikes on the Danube port are a clear example of this, aiming to choke off an alternative route for Ukrainian logistic and exports. Similarly, Ukraine's strikes on Russian military assets, including helicopters, impact Russia's logistical capabilities, particularly in areas where ground transport is difficult or dangerous. The ability to sustain forces on the front line and deliver necessary supplies, from fuel to ammunition to medical provision, is paramount for maintaining offensive or defensive operations, and both sides are actively working to undermine the other's capacity in this crucial domain. The international community continues to closely monitor these developments, with particular attention to the escalation of attacks on critical infrastructure and the broader implication for international law and global stability. The deliberate targeting of export infrastructure raises concern about potential war crimes and the weaponization of food supplies, adding another layers of complexity to the already fraught geopolitical landscape. While officials' response vary, many international bodies and individual nations condemn such action, reiterating calls for adherence to international humanitarian law and the protection of civilian infrastructure. The continued intensity of the fighting and the strategic importance of the target involved indicates that the conflict is far from a stalemate, with both sides actively pursuing military objectives that could significantly alter the future trajectory of the war. The human costs of these ongoing military operations remain immense, with both combatant and civilian casualties continuing to mount. The destruction of infrastructure, forced displacement, and the psychological impact of prolonged conflict have created a humanitarian crisis of vast proportion, further underscoring the urgency of finding a peaceful resolution. However, given the current military posture and strategic objectives of both Russia and Ukraine, an immediate cessation of hostilities appear unlikely, and the conflict continues to be defined by intense fighting across multiple fronts, with each military engagement contributing to the complex and devastating narrative of the war. That's all for me for today. If you like the video presentation and you would like to follow for more, hit that subscribe and like button now, and we will continue to build this show for you. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Bye for now.